In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a story of a project I sold out for $30 million and the three things I would do differently if I was to have that exact same project today. Now, a little bit of context, the project was basically a single family complex that this developer was building 18 houses and they were all over between 1.5 to $2 million. That being said, it was such a variance because they were actually the exact same houses, but COVID hit while I was selling this project out and the houses changed from 1.5 to 2 million and then back down to 1.5. It was a huge mess. But regardless, I was the agent representing this project and I got this project through various different people I knew that also knew the developer as well. And basically, I ended up representing the project. Now, the first thing I would have done differently if I was to have this project today is I would have leveraged this project way more than I did. So not to say I didn't leverage the project, I did. I went into the area and promoted it as if like I was that expert in the area. But what I would have done differently is actually started promoting it to different builders. So I wouldn't have actually promoted the project to end user people that were like, let's say I actually did go and door knock the area and I had other people door knocking the area to try to sell the project and say, hey, you know what, there's newer houses up the street. Why have you guys thought about making a move? I was thinking in the right direction, but I think I was thinking too small. What I should have actually done is taken that project to builders and said, hey, look, we're marketing this project in this way, and this is how much effort and time we're putting into our project, and we're getting this many views. We have PPC going on, we have Google ads, Facebook ads, we have referral partnerships. This is how we're selling this project out. Despite the fact that it was COVID and like nobody was buying, we were still making sales. And I should have shown that data to other builders in the area and even not in the area. But I should have basically leveraged it for builders and squeezed more out of that project than I actually did. I think I was thinking a little bit too small in hindsight, but at the end of the day, I mean that's what we do is we learn from those experiences and we take them into our next experiences. Now, the second thing I would have done with a project like that is I probably should have invested into it myself. So again, like those houses range between 1.5 to $2 million. I probably should have purchased the house at 1.5 when I could have easily made 500K equity right there. So, I mean, I had the money at the time. I was also making commissions from selling these properties. So, what I could have done is just took those commissions and negotiated a purchase with that developer. And I could have said, hey, you know what? Instead of paying me commissions for this entire deal, just give me one of these houses essentially, or the down payment for one of these houses, which would have been like 200-300 grand. And then one, I wouldn't have had to pay taxes on it. And then two, I would have had a property that appreciated from 1.5 to 200, $2 million. So I essentially would have made 500K equity in that property. But again, that's in hindsight, and that's thinking that I would have known that that property would have gone up to 2 million. I mean, if the developer would have known that property would have gone up to 2 million in a matter of a couple of months just because of COVID, then I'm sure he wouldn't have sold it either. But he had cash flow things, and he had bank requirements that he needed to sell certain properties. But at the end of the day, like nobody has a crystal ball that says, hey, this property is worth this much now and it's going to be this much in like this specific period of time. So I couldn't have really known, but I could have just taken that risk and said, you know what, at one point these were selling at 2 million. Now it's at 1.5 and I should probably purchase it. That being said, like it didn't go from 2 million to 1.5 in like 10 seconds. It went from 2 million to 1.5 over a period of months. So it dropped from 2 million to 1.8 to 1.7 to 1.7 or 6.5 and then 1.5 eventually. So it was a small gradual decrease in price, but I could have bought it at any points of that downhill spiral that it was going on and then ended up selling it at $2 million later. So one thing I learned there is also to invest alongside projects that I take. So if I am taking projects, which I'd probably refer projects off at this point, but if I am taking projects and I am in selling out projects, it's a good idea for me to invest. And it's cool I make these videos as well because I'm not only just getting these tips out there for everybody else, but I'm also giving these tips because I want to make sure that I'm not making these same mistakes when I go in the future and I can even just listen to myself this documented. and I can essentially take advice from myself based on the things that I may have missed last time or the things that I want to ensure I do next time. And finally, the third one, which realtors always get wrong here, and I was no different. I was also wrong here too, and I can admit that. But the third thing that I would have done is stayed in touch with those homeowners for ever since they bought that house. So I mean, there's been times now those properties have sold and they've gone and bought other properties. But if I just stayed in touch with those homeowners, a lot of them, some of them came to me without a realtor or they didn't have a real estate agent relationship. I could have basically been that person to resell that home for them and purchase them another place. So staying in touch with people is always the biggest thing for realtors. Like it's one of the it's so simple to say, but it's so hard to do because over time, like there's just so many people that we talk to on a daily basis, like 20, 30, 40 people, and then also remembering to stay in touch with these people. That's why I think it's so important to have your email list and it's so important to have your text message list that you blast at least weekly. And you stay in touch with these people because regardless if it's one to many and you're like that one person sending an email blast to many people, they feel like you're actually staying in touch with them and they feel like they're getting that personalized touch from you and they know what's going on. The other thing I could have done was just added these people on Instagram. I post on Instagram daily. So it's like I could have just added them on Instagram. They would have seen my posts daily if they had Instagram. Some of them were older. So, I mean, it was a higher price point. So, I mean, Facebook or whatever it may be, I could have added them on there and stayed in touch with them through those different avenues. But that's something I definitely dropped the ball on. And for the next projects, if I do take on more projects, I do want to make sure that I add these people to my social network so I'm able to stay in touch with them. So there you have it, guys. My three things I would have done very differently if I was to take on a $30 million project again. Now, if you got some value from this video, I appreciate if you hit that subscribe button. And also, if you are looking to get more leads and you don't have enough people to talk to on a daily basis to get in these situations where you're selling $30 million projects out, I put a link below where our description is, and you can book a call with one of our team members, and they can walk you through our process and show you exactly what we can do to get you to 2 to 4 transactions per month in 120 days. I'll see you guys on the next video.